So Brett Fairley, who went viral for his insane paternity fraud story recently, was just arrested and made to take down all of his videos. It's a lot, but I'll give you the quick breakdown.
I don't know if you guys remember Brett Fairley, but I did a whole video on him having a binder of evidence to prove that he was being trapped, right? This has ended up with him ending up in jail and arrested. I don't know how this happened. I'm blown away. I promised you guys I would actually find a video so I could, catch up on what's going on. This is the video. Let's check it out.
So Brett is a young man who ends up getting approached by an older woman named Maria who asks him to be her sperm donor. She convinces him with paperwork and everything that it's all on the up and up. He's not going to be legally responsible for this child. Despite this arrangement and them only having a one-night stand to complete this arrangement, Maria ends up finding Brett's mom and grandma and tells them that she's pregnant with Brett's child and convinces them that he should be involved with the pregnancy. His mom and grandma now want to be a part of the baby's life, so they convince Brett that he should be too. So he agrees to start paying child support. But after a little over a year, having paid now $55,000 to this woman for this baby,
Right.
he ends up taking a paternity test and finds out the baby isn't even his.
Right.
Not only that, but Brett finds out that Maria likely knew who the real father was this entire time, but refused to disclose it because the real father was married to another woman at the time. Oops. So Brett goes to court for paternity fraud, asking for his name to be taken off the birth certificate, child support to end, and to be paid back for all the child support he did pay. In a kind of surprising victory, the courts actually do agree to end Brett's parental and child support obligations, but they don't make Maria pay him back, and I'm pretty sure his name is still on the birth certificate. The judge also assigns a mutual restraining order for the both of them, meaning that neither of them can ever talk about this case again. Basically a gag order. But according to Brett, Maria broke this order almost immediately by contacting his family, telling them that he's a deadbeat who abandoned his child. So Brett decides that he too is going to defy the order and clear his name. And that's when he made a multi-part series detailing all the lies, how he got played, and also his own mistakes along the way to help educate other men. I actually remember one interview where Brett was asked what he would tell his younger self if he could, and he said that if he had ever heard a story even remotely similar to what he went through, he would have never been in that situation. So his story does have the ability to prevent this from happening. But obviously the courts don't want the story out there. Why? It just makes you wonder, especially when you consider that in other countries like France, it's actually illegal for men to perform paternity tests on their kids without the mother's permission because, in their words, it would destabilize the community.
Oh my goodness. France. France. What?
And honestly, this whole concept that you have to prove paternity fraud is also crazy to me because it's like, did she say the kid was his? Did the DNA test say that it isn't? Seems to me that there was pretty clear deception involved.
Right.
But we do have to learn from this. And honestly, this is why a lot of guys are very hesitant to sign anything until they get that DNA test. This is also why I think it's really important for women to stop taking DNA tests so personally and making it this big relationship ending deal.
Right.
You should want to be able to offer your man that reassurance, and you should also want that reassurance yourself. After all, hospital switch-ups do happen to women too. They can shut him up, but they can't shut us all up. And men need to hear this stuff. Men deserve to know if their kid is theirs or not without being shamed for wanting to know that.
So you're telling me the video series that he made to share his story after she violated her, the whole gag order and the restraining order, those videos are what got him arrested? Wow. These courts are effed up. These courts are effed up. Now, granted, man, like we all know the whole agreeing to be, doesn't matter how young you are, you should know that you agreeing to be a sperm donor to somebody just because they asked you to just never do that. Never do that. And you may think this never happens, but when I first spoke on this situation, there were a bunch of people in the comment section who were like, yep, a chick asked me to do this. Yep, a chick asked me to do this. She just asked me to give her a baby. Incredibly stupid, a bad decision. But to find out that the truth is she was smashing a bunch of his friends also, and the baby wasn't even his to begin with after paying over $50,000 and her not being expected to pay back a single cent. You know the justice system would never treat a woman like this. This is disgusting beyond measure. Let's read a few of these comments. Top comment says, I agree that men should have the right without backlash to ask and get testing done for the baby to be his. Mandatory tests would just rock would just rock the nation. It really would. Mandatory tests would rock the nation so bad, I believe, that they don't even want to open that can of worms. They know these chicks today belong to the streets. Majority of them. You think these chicks are trying to live better? Trying to be right? As in they're sitting down and going, okay, what's the right way to go? Why would they? Accountability ends with them. Most of them don't try to live on biblical principles or, some other religion or anything else other than the religion of me. They will take that to the grave. Somebody else says, why are there so many evil women in this world? Somebody says, because they're protected by society. Oof. Here's another person who says, people, my dude, there are evil men and women. Let's not make it into something it isn't. There are evil men too. And I think in this conversation, like, people don't like people to sway the conversation to like, okay, well, we're talking about women right now. It's true. This conversation is about women. Somebody else who says DNA tests mandatory at birth. Somebody else who says, because men don't matter in society and even a small victory needs to get snuffed out. So this person says, as far as mandatory DNA tests, it says that's a huge waste of money for the vast majority of people having children are in a happy relationship where this kind of thing wouldn't be an issue. This is just the internet. No, it's not. No, it's not just the internet. It's not just the internet. When 1/3 of tests come back negative, then it's not just the internet. Somebody else who says, how am I just finding out he got arrested? Somebody else responded and says, I really don't think he was. She's the only one saying it. No, that's not true. I first heard about this from another. It wasn't even in another video. I heard about this in the comment section of a whole nother video where people were saying, yeah, that Brett guy got arrested. And I said, oh man, I'm going to have to check up on that. I want to go check out his TikTok because that'll be the only way we can know if this is actually true. If the videos are actually deleted, then we will know for a fact that he is arrested for that gag order being broken. Yeah, nothing on here about his situation. Wow. Top comment says, I'm so mad for you right now. This just tells me you're not getting any justice at this time. Shame on her and the system that continually fails you. Prayers for you and Nurse Hadley. So that is his girl. I believe his wife. I think they're married. Somebody else who says, look who got silenced again. Oh, Maria, this will always look bad for you. Somebody else who says, not me coming looking for part 14 and all the videos are deleted. Guess there was legal issues. Somebody else who says, bro, deleted the whole series. Somebody else who says, OMG, what happened to this video? If you guys want to go see the video I released, because I haven't gotten anything to take down my video, head over on my page, search my video. Let me see, I'll give you guys the title right now. This is the video right there, this one at the top. All my friends clap the cheeks. Now she's pinning it on me. That may have been the video that got him in trouble. Hey, I wasn't the only one who addressed this situation. But he literally says in this video that, like, she was getting passed around, Listen, if you are a man who's soon to be married, currently engaged, or maybe proposing soon, and you want to make sure that you avoid making the mistake of setting yourself up and not preparing legally for marriage, and you need a prenup but don't know where to start, we're talking about prenuptial agreements. Remember, head over to fathershaverights.com and access the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. We are the guide that you use before, right? The guide you use before hiring an attorney. Appreciate you. fathershaverights.com. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.